Module 2, Lesson 15, Relating Representations of Proportional Relationships. We are just going to be comparing how we find the constant in a table, in a graph, in an equation, and in a word problem. A situation is proportional if the units have a constant, and for these problems in 1 through 4, we are going to create a table to help us determine what the constant is. Keeping in mind that as you are reading through each of these, whenever you see the word per, it usually indicates a constant. If there isn't anything else, such as plus a one-time fee, the scenario is going to be likely proportional. So as an example of this, for number 1, it says that a store sells iced tea for $2.79 per gallon. So this one would be considered a proportional relationship because each gallon of iced tea costs $2.79. So you are going to create this table here for number 1, and you have your X value for your gallons of tea. Your cost is Y, and you're going to do Y divided by X for each row, and dividing to see if you get the same constant of $2.79 for each row. And this is to help support your reasoning for why number 1 represents a proportional relationship. But unlike number 2, it says that a car wash charges $2 plus 25 cents per minute for you to wash your car. So if 0 minutes goes by, you still have to pay that original $2. And then after 1 minute, you still have that $2 plus the 25 cents. After 5 minutes, you still have that $2 plus another $1.25. And then so on with 10 minutes, you still have that additional $2 plus that 25 cents per minute for those full 10 minutes. So for this one, you have your Y divided by X for each of these. You're going to see if your constant is the same or different for each of these rows. And then for number 2, explaining whether or not this table represents a proportional relationship based off the constant that you found for each row. For number 3 and number 4, the table is already started for you. You're just going to find what your constant is for number 3 and number 4, and then giving your same explanation as you did for 1 and 2, just explaining how you know whether or not 3 and 4 represent proportional or not proportional relationships based off the constant you found or didn't find. For this next part, you have a card that is assigned to you, either A, B, C, D, E, or F, just finding where your name is, and then you are going to get that card from Mrs. Maricola. Since we are doing different representations of proportional relationships, your card might be where you have to find your constant from a table. You might have a card where you have to figure out what your constant is from an equation. You might have to figure out, if you have one like card C, you might have to figure out what your constant is from a graph. Or for ones like card D, they give you an explanation and you have to figure out what the constant is from the explanation. Now, when you go through Kami, you can find your name, and then you're going to scroll through to there's 6 different examples. You're not doing all 6. You're just doing the one for the card that was assigned to you. So if you were card A, you would be on this page here. If you were card B, you're going to be on this page here. If you are card C, you'd be on this page, and so on. You are going to make sure that you fill in your written description, filling in the blank. If you don't have the graph, filling in the graph. Make sure you label your x-axis, your y-axis, have a title for your graph, and then plotting your points and creating your straight line. Making sure that you label your table, fill in your table with your values for x and y, and then for your equation, representing what each variable in your equation means, and then writing your equation based off of the constant that you found. But you are going to do this part of your Foursquare on your own, making sure you fill in each part and then raising your hand to have that one checked. And from here, we are going to go on. After you've done number 5 on your own, you are going to go to number 6, where we are comparing different proportional relationships. For this example, you see satellite A and satellite B. You have their time, T, and their distance, Y. Even though these two are different variables, time still represents X and distance is still representing Y. So if you do Y divided by X, it would be the same thing as D divided by T. You're going to find what your constant is for each satellite and then explain what that constant means in relation to the table. So for satellite A, whatever their constant is, satellite A travels this many kilometers per how many seconds. And for satellite B, this satellite travels how many kilometers per second. And then just comparing which satellite is faster or which satellite is slower based off of whose constant is greater or whose constant is lesser. And you're going to skip number 7. Number 8 is going to be your last one. For this one, instead of 2 tables, you have an equation and a graph, but still finding your constant. For satellite C, it is represented in a graph, and you have an ordered pair on your graph that you are going to use to find your constant. Your constant is 20 to 156, meaning that in 20 seconds, the satellite travels 156 kilometers. The 20 represents X, the 156 represents Y, and you still do Y divided by X to figure out what your constant is for this graph. And then you're going to use that to fill in this part here for satellite C. And then for satellite F, they give you the equation D is equal to 7.5T. As you can see, the constant is actually already highlighted for you because the equation has already been created. You don't have to divide anything. You just have to see what your constant is in your equation. And then you're going to use that to fill in fill in the blank for satellite F. How many kilometers does it travel per second? And then from here, since we are comparing who's faster, you are going to say, I know satellite blank is faster because its constant of blank is greater than satellite, which one is greater than satellite blank's constant of blank. So just filling this in with the information that you found and then raising your hand to have this one checked. But this concludes lesson 15 of module 2, where we are learning how to find constants in different representations, whether it be in an equation, a graph, a table, or a word description.